Hi everyone, my name is Crystal, and today I want to talk about something that I've wanted to talk about for a really long time, and that is vegan diets and period loss. So I'm sure you've heard from a friend that someone they know went vegan and lost their period, or maybe you saw someone online talk about their struggles with period loss and their vegan diet. I'm not here to talk about those stories. What I'm here to talk about is my personal struggle with period loss and just the reasoning why period loss can happen on a vegan diet. There are a lot of different causes of period loss, but in this video I'm going to be talking about my experience with hypothalamic amenorrhea. So what is hypothalamic amenorrhea? Well, that is when your brain and your ovaries stop talking. And that is usually caused when your body feels unsafe and your body doesn't feel like it is going to be able to support a pregnancy. So when your body feels unsafe, then it will stop ovulating. And so that is why you experience period loss. So hypothalamic amenorrhea is period loss that has been happening for more than 3 months. Now, the reason why I wanted to talk about vegan diets and period loss and not just period loss is because I feel like a lot of people think these two things go hand in hand. Like, a lot of people think that if you're vegan, you're just going to lose your period. And it's really unfortunate, but it's also not wrong. Like, there are a lot of reasonings why someone on a vegan diet could lose their period. And that is what I want to talk about today because I have experience with this. 5 years ago, I lost my period. Now, I've been vegan for 10 years, so I lost my period as a vegan and I regained my period as a vegan. Who would have thought? So what is the most common cause of period loss on a vegan diet? And in my opinion, it is plain and simple. It is undereating. Now, there are many ways that people can undereat. It can be from complete restriction. So that is just restricting calories for whatever reason. Or it could be that they go vegan and they just don't know what to eat. It doesn't really matter. Either or can still cause period loss. So for me personally, when I lost my period, I just wasn't eating enough. Although at the time I thought I was eating a lot. So I was eating a lot of green smoothies, a lot of more raw food, you know, the typical story that you kind of hear. That is kind of where I was at. And so what I see so often is people just calorie restricting even if they don't know it. So just not eating enough calorie dense foods. Like, you can eat all the volume in the world that you want. You can make these huge, amazing salads, but if you're not putting a good fatty dressing on that, or if you're not adding legumes and whole grains to that, you're just not getting a lot of calorie dense food. So that was what was happening with me. The other thing that was happening is I was just not eating enough fat, y'all. And I see this so much in the vegan community is people are so scared of eating fat. And so they instantly go vegan and then they instantly just do a very low fat diet or just cut fats out completely. And girl, that is not going to serve you. I mean, I'm not going to pretend that a low fat diet isn't good for some things like diabetes or heart disease. Yes, of course, that is what you should be doing, but you should also be talking to your doctor and talking with a nutritionist if you have these kind of health issues. Most people, 99% of people eating a low-fat diet, don't have any health issues. And what they're doing is that they're eating this diet because they might have seen their favorite blogger eat this way, or maybe they're trying to emulate a way of eating that they think is the healthiest, or maybe they're just trying to lose weight. It doesn't really matter. What matters is the fact that your body creates 70 to 80% of the cholesterol that you need to create hormones, and the dietary fats that you eat help your body create the extra cholesterol that it's not able to make. So that's important because cholesterol is the mother of your hormones. So if you're not eating any fat and you're just kind of relying on your body to make 70-80% of the cholesterol that you need to not only make your hormones but to just keep you healthy, then you could be going down a path that's not super great. So I just want to make it really clear that macronutrients are macronutrients for a reason. If you are not eating fats or not eating carbs, that's not a healthy, sustainable way to live. So that just brings me to my point of this whole video, basically, is that the vegan diet is not a restrictive diet. People make it restrictive for no reason. You are the one that's nourishing your body. So you can either nourish your body or you can restrict and starve. You have the power. It's not the diet's fault. It's your fault. You need to nourish yourself. And I know that it's very hard to come to the realization that you might have a poor relationship with food. That is what I had to deal with. When I lost my period, I had to come to the realization that the foods I was eating, even though on paper they looked super healthy and amazing, at the end of the day, I wasn't eating enough and I wasn't eating enough calorie dense foods, plain and simple. And so I had to come to the realization that I needed to eat way more and incorporate a bunch of foods into my diet that I was actively restricting. And you need to understand that what works for other people might not necessarily necessarily work for you. So if you're just gonna pull a bunch of food out from your diet because you've heard bad things about them, you're not gonna be able to eat at the end of the day. You're not gonna have anything to eat. You can go online and find bad stuff about any kind of food. Like, it's super ridiculous, and it's just really unfortunate that we can fall into these traps and believe that what we're doing is the healthiest, but at the end of the day, it's actually undermining our health. So the next thing that I see very often combined with under-eating is over-exercise. If you are under-eating and then you're over-exercising, or just exercising in a really intense way and just not making up the calories that you burned from exercise, you are then creating a very, very big deficit. And a huge calorie deficit is going to cause you to lose your period. So exercise alone does not cause you to lose your period. That's a huge myth. Exercise is amazing. However, if you combine exercising with under-eating, that is a recipe for disaster. And I know it's really easy to think that like the more you exercise and the less you eat, the more healthy you're gonna be, or like the more closer you will be to your like goal body. But these things combined undermine your health. And so I think it's really important to understand that this can also be a cause for period loss. So the last thing that I want to talk about is a few nutrients that could be low on a vegan diet that do affect our hormone health. And I think it's just important to remember that like whole plant foods have so much nutrients and nutrition in them. Like a whole foods vegan diet is so nutrient dense, but if you start pulling foods out of your diet, like you don't eat legumes, or you don't eat whole grains, or you don't eat nuts and seeds, those are foods that have a lot of nutrition in them. So what I mean by that is, for example, whole grains and legumes and nuts and seeds have a lot of zinc in them, and you want to be eating a lot of zinc. It is so good for your menstrual health. And so if you're not eating foods rich in zinc, that can create problems. Same thing can be said for iodine and selenium. Now, iodine is found in sea vegetables, and selenium is found in other veggies because it is a nutrient in the soil, but a very high source of selenium is Brazil nuts. Now, it is pretty easy to get selenium on a vegan diet, but it is always good to be conscious of it because it's very important for your thyroid health. Now, on the other hand, iodine, if you're not eating a lot of sea vegetables, you can be missing out on iodine. So it's important to make sure that you are eating sea vegetables. And if you don't like sea vegetables, add a little bit of iodized sea salt to your meals, or look into supplementation. But before doing the supplementation, please talk to your doctor. Of course, the other nutrient of concern is B12. Unless you're eating fortified foods, you're not going to find B12 in vegan foods. So you have to be supplementing B12. And then the last one that I want to make sure that you guys are aware of is vitamin D. If you're like me and you live in the northern hemisphere, you're not getting enough vitamin D. Most people are deficient. Vitamin D is so important for our hormone health. So if you're deficient in vitamin D, it can affect a lot of other things. So it's a great thing to supplement. So I just wanted to make this video because this is something that is like near and dear to my heart. When I lost my period, it was a huge wake-up call. I had to do basically like a 180. Is that what it is? Yeah, 180. And you know what, you guys, after really working on myself and really doing a lot of inner work, my period came back, and it has been back ever since. In the beginning, it was a little bit irregular, but now for the last few years, my cycle has come every month. It's usually about 29-30 days long. I just honestly never thought this would happen. I never thought I would have a regular cycle. And so I just want you guys to know that yes, you can lose your period on a vegan diet. Like, it can happen, but it's not the vegan diet's fault. Really, what we have to do is we have to look at ourselves and what we're doing and how we're eating. And healing is totally possible on a vegan diet. I mean, like I said, I never thought I would be experiencing regular cycles, and here I am, healthy and thriving and feeling better than I ever thought possible. And it's because of all the work I did to regain my period back. So if you are struggling with period loss, just know that healing is possible, but it does take a lot of work. And if you are struggling with eating issues or exercise issues, help is out there. Please get professional help. There are therapists out there that can help you and work with you and make you understand like what's going on. And I think it's just really important that you do this for yourself, so then you can regain your health back and not have this happen again. So with that being said, I would love if you guys like this video and subscribe to my channel. I am so happy that we have this safe little space where we can chat about these things. And as always, I want you guys to know that your cycle matters so much, and I am here for you, and I will see you guys in the next video. Bye!